Alright guys, let's get back on this thing and wrap this thing up. Now, before we get any too much further into this, a matter of housekeeping. I don't know whether I did a very good job yesterday of explaining how this thing works. And let me back up even further. This thing, in particular this part right here, can you see that? Yes. This thing right here. I've been calling this the spider gear or spider gear assembly. That's true and not true. The spider gears are these gears inside here. But this gear that I've been calling the spider gear is not the spider gear. This is the ring gear. And so, up until now in this video, more than likely, anytime I ever referred to a spider gear, what I was actually talking about was the ring gear. So, anyway, just wanted to clarify that. Now, another thing I don't know whether I fully explained was the two adjusters that are on these housings and what they do. The adjusters are designed so that when they, sit opposed to each other, they're designed to move the two bearing races for these two bearings back and forth to engage the ring gear on the pinion gear. And if you think about it, see if I can get in frame here and demonstrate. Think of this as the pinion gear and this is the ring gear. The closer they are together, the less play there is. Farther apart, more play. And so that is how you adjust the amount of backlash that there is in this whole mechanism by moving the ring gear closer to or farther away from the pinion gear. So, now, I don't have a dial indicator. I believe I've pointed that out. So how am I going to adjust the amount of play or slop, or what they call backlash, in the pinion gear, as evidenced by movement in the yoke? And what I'm going to do is something that I'm going to call Gauge by YouTube. On YouTube, there's a guy, his YouTube channel is, he did a 2-part video series rebuilding one of these GM 8.25 differentials. It was seeing those two videos that made me realize, hey, I could do this. I don't need to pay to have this done. At the end of his second video, he actually shows how you use a dial indicator to test the amount of backlash in the pinion gear, or in the whole gear assembly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this thing put back together, adjust the two adjusters so that the bearing races are just snug together, and then I'm going to check the backlash based on how much play there is in the yoke. If I am close to what Bronco Carl has in that video, because in that video he sets a dial indicator, he shows that the backlash was within tolerance, and then what he did was he just moved the yoke back and forth a few times, inadvertently demonstrating the amount of play that there should be in a properly adjusted yoke. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust mine based on a gauge of his video. So if the amount of play I can get in this yoke roughly approximates what he's got in that video, I'm going to be well within tolerance for my application. I'm not going to do any heavy towing. I don't have a high performance motor or anything. This is just general use. Car trips on the weekend, commuting to work, there's nothing that I'm going to need real exact specifications for. So if I can get my play, get my slop or my backlash, whatever you want to call it, roughly equivalent to what I see in his videos, good enough, it'll be just fine. So, thing I got to do right now is now I'm going to start putting this thing together. I'm going to take this adjuster on the back of here, and I'm going to back it out a little bit. That way I can get this thing together. All right. Now I need to put the ring gear assembly back in. There. Now I need to clean up the two halves and apply the sealant. All right, get my sealant, hang on to it. Man, I tell you what, you know what, I think I may need to start this over with. I have dropped everything I have picked up today. And of course now I can't find the tops, which means I'm gonna have to open this up by other means being a screwdriver. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh. All right. Now, before I get any further, let me make sure, okay, I've got my bearing assembly in place. I've got the race. Yeah, I think I've got everything. Okay. All right, that's going to be good enough. That doesn't go on there. Okay. Let me get my bolts. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do the Jeff Bradshaw torque wrench here. Click, 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 click. You get the idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten that up so it's tight. Just put a little bit of tension on it with... Sorry, I know I'm blocking the camera. I apologize. Just a little bit of tension on here. About like so. And that is 0. Zero backlash, which means that the ring gear is sitting too far down against the pinion gear. So what I have to do is I'm going to have to undo this adjuster and bring this one out, shove that one in, and so that I can get that ring gear off the pinion. And get a little bit of slack. Wait a minute. Oh. Got it. Got it. Lordy. Okay, let's, where's my needle nose here? So let's back this up and then come around. Put that one in. Okay. Now let's try. Oh, now we're getting some backlash. Can you see this? We back her out just a little bit here. Now, I've raised that ring gear up off the pinion, and now we've got just a little bit of backlash. I think I need just a little bit more, which means I have to bring this one out a little bit more. Let's go to about there. And take this one in. Okay, just like that. Now, that is very close to what Bronco Carl has in his videos. I'm leaving that alone. I'm going to give these just a little bit of tightening. I'm going to punch that bad boy down. That is now snug. Now I've got to figure out how to secure this gear over here. In fact, I think I might need to come just a touch. How we do? Okay. I'm going to leave it at that and figure out how to get this thing secured. because that seal is only going to go on there. Yeah, not that deep. So I need to find something I can shove in there. Guys, I'm going to pause. I'm going to pick this back up after I figure out how I'm going to secure this. So, all right, guys, what I ended up doing is I took 2 pieces of stainless steel rod, and this, actually, it's not really rod, but it's this stainless steel stuff that you get. I salvaged these out of windshield wiper blades, and it's just nice to have stainless steel in these little thin little bars for projects and applications just like this. So I took 2 of them. It took 2 of them to wedge it in there firmly, bend it over into place. I believe that's going to hold just fine. So I'm going to put the seal on and keep going on getting this project wrapped up. Good enough. Flip this bad boy back over. First of all, I'm going to put a little oil on the seal. Some oil. And I'll also put a generous amount of oil on the shaft also when I put it in. Okay, let's flip this bad boy over and keep going. All right, get the bolts. All right. Good enough. Now I gotta put the shaft in. I'll give the shaft a real good wipe and a very generous lube. Plenty of lube on the splines. I'll drop this bad one. I'm going to put plenty of, well, I need to lube this part up first. Plenty of lube there. Now, this bad one. Okay, now I think all I got to do is pound that thing home to engage that clip. Can you even see this? Oh, guys, I am sorry. Here. All I got to do is pound that little bit left to engage that clip, and I believe we're done with that in. Bingo! Oh yeah, we are cooking with gas now, folks. Now, I think the only thing left to do is put this one on, and I think we're ready to put this thing back on the vehicle. Now, I'm going to make another executive decision, and that executive decision is I'm going to fill this thing with fluid while it's on the bench. That way I don't have to mess with that after I get into the vehicle. knows. This is going well. Now, I gotta flip it over to fill it. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's mother heavy. And I hope we've given it the right amount of slop, because it's done. And I ain't messing anymore with it. Where's the fill hole on this thing? I think it's the other side. Where is the fill hole on this thing? There it is. Crying out loud. I think we're full. We are full. Phew, man, I have made a total mess. But then again, you ain't doing the job right if you don't make a mess. Okay. Plug. Guys, tell you what I'm going to do is I am going to dispense with any more video right now. I'm going to get this thing on because I got to get this thing on tonight. And I will fire the camera back up when I have this thing on and I'm ready to do the test drive.